Hello, welcome and good morning, and welcome to another installment of the Chicken Qabalah of Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford. I hope you're getting ready to have a nice weekend. Be careful and be safe. We are on chapter 8 today, which is Kabbalistic Magic and the Tree of Life. And as usual, it starts with an introduction by yours truly, and an epigram from Rabbi Lamed ben Clifford that says, "It's all in your head. You just have no idea how big your head is." To the horror of many in the Orthodox community, Rabbi Ben Clifford encouraged his students to learn and practice the art of spirit evocation. He also made no secret of the fact that he himself, on occasion, conjured demons and spirits to help him address specific personal problems. He taught that summoning spirits to do one's bidding was perfectly compatible with his field theory, which states, "It's all in your head, you just have no idea how big your head is." He insisted that the successful completion of any act of will was a form of spirit evocation. Unfortunately, he left no record of his personal workings in this area, and he never made it a regular part of his course instruction. Very little material could be found to give us a glimpse into this colorful aspect of his spiritual career. The work that follows was originally written as a postscript to the Zippy papers regarding the genesis of the Tree of Life. It was obviously never intended to serve as a comprehensive treatise on spirit evocation. It does, however, contain an extremely useful hierarchical flowchart of archangels, angels, intelligences, and spirits that clearly outlines who's in charge of who in the Tree of Life universe. And I actually posted that the other day on my Facebook cover page. It'll come up later in the chapter. It's this wonderful and very handy chart. But anyway, the accompanying essay also reveals Ben Clifford's basic attitudes regarding the underlying theory of Kabbalistic ceremonial magic. And I believe it should be of immeasurable value to anyone who may wish to embark on such practices. But before we turn to the essay, I'd like us to examine the contents of a short but provocative letter Ben Clifford wrote to an Indiana student in 1988. His letter is in response to several questions the student posed concerning the evocations of the spirits of Goetia. And that's the Goetia is the Lesser Key of Solomon, a very classic text. 72 angel or spirits of the Goetia. The rabbi himself confessed that his answers were gross simplifications. Nevertheless, I know of no better definition of the underlying theory of Kabbalistic magic and spirit evocation than his last sentence. Quote, "Gods, archangels, angels, spirits, intelligences, and demons are personifications of all our abilities and potential abilities, a wondrous hierarchy of consciousness that represents the subdivisions of our soul." Unquote. And here are the series of questions and answers. Are the spirits good or evil? Yes, they are good. Yes, they are evil. Are the spirits real or imaginary? Yes, they are real. Yes, they are imaginary. Are the spirits part of me, or do they live in an existence independent of me? Yes, the spirits are part of you. Yes, to all appearances, and for all practical purposes, they live an existence independent of you. Are spirits dangerous? Yes, most definitely. Spirits are dangerous. Can spirits hurt me? Yes, most definitely. Spirits can hurt you. They hurt you all the time. Can spirits ruin my life? Yes, most definitely. Spirits can ruin your life. Can spirits kill me? Yes, most definitely. Spirits can kill you. Can spirits harm my loved ones, my neighbors, my nation, and the earth's fragile ecosystem? Yes, most definitely. As a matter of fact, there is no atrocity you can imagine, no wickedness you can conceive of, no monstrous act you can picture in your mind that the spirits cannot inflict upon you, your loved ones, your neighbors, the earth, or the human race. Aren't you sorry you ask? The most important question is the question you didn't ask. Why on earth would anyone want to have anything to do with such awful and terrible entities? And the answer is probably the answer you don't want to hear, but here it goes. Because until you master these forces and consciously redirect their unimaginable power to more constructive projects, their wild energies will continue to gush like burning Drano through your soul along every avenue of least resistance, large or small. When you were weak, when you were tired, when you were sick or stressed or drunk or drugged or jealous or angry or hurt or insulted or resentful or in pain or succumbing to greed or being flattered, or when you were afraid, especially when you were afraid. And they can ruin your life, harm you, even kill you and your loved ones, and make your life a living hell. Of course, these are worst case scenarios. Most of us have enough rain on our spirits to keep us out of prison or the booby hatch. But all of us could do much better. And the world most definitely would be a better place if we all did better. Let's take another look at your questions that I answered so glibly and give them just a bit more attention. Are the spirits good or evil? Yes, the spirits are good or evil in the same way electricity is both good and evil, depending on how it is directed. Are the spirits real or just imaginary? The spirits are both real and imaginary, but most of us do not realize how real our imaginations are. Are the spirits part of me, or do they live in existence independent of me? The spirits are inside you, but most of us do not realize, one, how big our insides really are, or two, how much out of control and seemingly independent the things inside us can be. For a moment, let's pretend that your brain, and remember, science tells us we use only a tiny portion of our brain. Let's pretend that our brain is the source of all your power and ability to do anything. Let's just pretend that, because of course it isn't. But remember the 4 parts of the soul and the fact that your neshama, your soul intuition, was incredibly huge. And it was a part of the soul that enables your mother to freak out when you're in trouble, even if you were on the moon. But just for simplicity's sake, let's say all your powers and abilities are functions of the brain. Because the brain, under this pretend scenario, is the all-power director of our being, we could call it the God of our lives. This God is a good administrator and knows how to effectively delegate authority to get things done. However, having no resources outside of itself to draw upon, the brain must divide itself into several large departments, creating from itself a board of directors. One board member controls our logical and deductive processes. Another, our imagination and artistic sensibilities. Another board member dominates our sleep and dreams, and one quietly interfaces with our nervous systems. These large sections of the brain, these members of the board of directors, are archangels who execute the will of the brain god. If we were to dissect the archangel areas of the brain, we would discover that within each of them are smaller areas that do more specific jobs within the archangel's province. For instance, within the archangel of logic, we could find the area that adds and subtracts and observes and registers the processes of cause and effect. We might find within the artistic archangel area, an area that allows us to appreciate a beautiful painting, or a sector that sounds the alarm when we see a man wearing brown shoes and white socks with a tuxedo. These middle management subdivisions of the archangelic zones of the brain are called angels. Further dividing the brain, we discover that within each of these angelic regions are even smaller areas that control even more specific applications of their angelic department. We could keep dividing and dividing, creating smaller and smaller, ever more specific intelligences, spirits, and yes, even demons. Magical evocation is merely identifying the specific spirit who accomplishes the task we want to accomplish, then activating in descending order the areas of the brain that control it. Archangels, angels, spirits, intelligences, and demons are personifications of all our abilities and potential abilities. A wondrous hierarchy of consciousness that represents the subdivisions of our own soul. And that's where we'll end today. We'll continue with this chapter onto the spirit evocation section tomorrow at the same time. Have a great weekend. I'm planning on sticking around the house here and not doing very much. I do get out and walk a little, and it's a beautiful day. I walked very early this morning before the people walking their dogs come out. And actually, I fell down. I tripped on the sidewalk and fell down. And I'm sort of nursing a little ache and pain this morning. But I'm okay, and I'll live through this. And I'm sure, and I hope you will too. In the meantime, be good to yourself. Don't fall down when you walk, please. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. Have a great weekend, everyone.